got you started off into music in the first place?
Well, I kind of had guitar lessons at a really early age at school, just acoustic guitar, but it didn't take long for me to realise that guitar worked for me, so I just knew I wanted to be a drummer. And when I started listening to early Cradle of Filth and early Cannibal Corpse and stuff like that, I just knew that I was going to be a drummer and nothing else, so that was basically.
And what was the appeal to the more extreme genres rather than, let's say, conventional rock music?
I think it's just that natural progression from sort of like rock and then on to kind of like Metallica and Slayer and stuff like that. And then when Cradle of Filth started coming out, I think that was kind of, I knew I really wanted to start being in a brutal band, definitely.
And some of the bands you played previously before getting into the death metal thing, you were in a doom band before, is that right?
That's right, yeah. Yeah, the first band I was in was a doom band called Sleeping Myth. And it wasn't really what I wanted to do. I mean, it was just really slow, and I kept adding double bass where I shouldn't have, and they get kind of annoyed with it, but it was a good experience just to be out there anyway, playing with a decent band. And I liked the start, but I was never going to be playing that stuff for them. So.
Getting into the death metal scene, was Liquefied Skeleton your first death metal project?
Yeah, it definitely was, yeah. I mean, when it first started, Dave from Infestation called me up and said, did I want to try out? And the first audition I had, I wasn't anywhere near death metal standard that they were looking for anyway. But I think it was about a year later and the band had disbanded, and they wanted to get it back together with new members, so me and Mike were going to be like the new members for Infestation. So we started working out with Dave, and it didn't really work out with Dave and us being the new members, so me and Mike just decided to do our own thing, which ended up being Liquefied Skeleton.
And it went under an original name of Fleshrot?
That's right, yeah. It didn't last long. There was just all kinds of ridiculous band names that we could have thought of, and we ended up with the most ridiculous band.
It was yourself who started off designing the logo for Liquefied Skeleton?
Yeah, it was just something that I just notched up in 5 minutes. Should have spent a lot more time on it. It's done professionally nowadays, but you know, we just never did it back then.
And what was the influence around that time for the artwork?
Just anything sort of like horror based, anything that looks gory and brutal, we just chose that with the logo and the actual artworks as well.
Because there was a particular film that you took a lot of reference from,
Yeah, the scenes were from Event Horizon, which is a sci-fi horror film, and we just took the most gory snippets of that film and tried to capture them. So that's what we did for both EPs. Yeah.
And the unusual thing for Ripped and Torn was it was actually a three-piece when it started out, no bass player.
Yeah, it was a three-piece. It was just me and Mike just writing riffs together and playing, and James coming into the fold pretty soon. He wanted to do death metal vocals, and we just kind of let him in because he had a kind of like Chris Barnes kind of style about him, and we liked it. And so we did the first EP, Ripped and Torn, with just the three of us. And there's no bass, and it's really missing the bottom end of that EP, and you know, but it is what it is.
And from there, it moved on to being from a three-piece to a five-piece.
Yeah.
And it was yourself and Chaz Penalty that joined on bass.
That's right, yeah. We needed a bass player, definitely, and Mike wanted another guitarist, so we could just add the solos and just be more of a band in general. So yeah, we were a five-piece, but it didn't end up being a five-piece for long because obviously James felt that he didn't want to do it anymore, and so James sort of bailed out just before we went and recorded Malicious, which is the second EP.
stepped in to do the vocals
Yeah.
at the last minute.
Yeah, he stepped into the vocals right at the last minute. He's been a vocalist in previous bands, so he knows how to write lyrics and he knows how to perform lyrics. You know, at the same time as playing, he's been a frontman in the past, so he did a really good job of writing lyrics straight away and just putting them on the CP at really short notice. I think it was something like a month he had to like, do the whole thing. So he did a really good job, yeah.
Yeah, and some of his influence was from his day job, I do believe, as well.
I think so, yeah.
The making of Malicious Dominance, where was that done at?
That was done at in Ipswich at Springvale Studios, and it's a nice studio. It's like a converted barn, and Mark Harwood's a really good producer. He got us a really good sound. You know, we didn't spend a whole lot of money on it, but he got us a really decent sound, and it's a great studio. There's big Cradle of Filth work done there, and it's also where they choose to rehearse as well. So it's kind of like their base. We didn't really know what we were doing, but he was knew what he was doing.
The drum tracks, there was actually no click track, I do believe.
No, it was really sort of demo standards, like the way we approached it. There was no click tracks, there was no, there wasn't, and I mean everything you hear is just really raw as far as the drums go. It's just really raw and basically just made it sound as good as it could. There's no editing, no special effects, nothing. It's literally just me playing, and that's obviously not the way things are done nowadays. But it's strictly demo standard then, and it is what it is for that reason.
And after that EP was recorded, you got a chance to play with some few heroes there at that time as well.
Yeah, definitely. We had a good few shows here on this stage. In fact, at the Peel, we had a gig with Decapitated, which was good. And that was also their original lineup, so that was nice. All the business that's gone on with Decapitated, it was nice to play with their original lineup here on this stage. And we played with Hecate and Flank here as well.
And also there was 6 Feet Under at the Underworld.
That's right, yeah, 6 Feet Under, yeah. We got on that show, that was really good for us. It was really busy, and it's just a really good exposure for us.
Because the irony was that the original vocalist James was a huge Chris Barnes fan.
He was a huge Chris Barnes fan. I think he was actually at the show. I don't know, he probably wasn't too happy with the situation he found himself in, but yeah, he chose to leave, but that's another story.
And then on from Liquefied Skeleton, there were various lineup changes, and you moved on to Gridlock Takedown for a bit. That's
right, yeah. Liquefied Skeleton disbanded, I think it was 2004, I think it was 2004, and I wanted to do something straight away, something different, a little bit more sort of like experimental maybe. So Gridlock Takedown were looking for a drummer, and I kind of knew the guys anyway because we did a show with them, the LA2 together, Liquefied Skeleton and Gridlock Takedown, and I met the guys there, and I did an audition and it worked out well, so I stayed with Gridlock Takedown for 3 years. And then on from that, you went on to going to Fleshrot. That's right, yeah. The Gridlock Takedown wasn't really doing a whole lot in terms of live shows and pushing the way you should be pushing, and I really sort of felt held back. So Fleshrot, luckily enough, I joined, and we just got so much done straight away. We recorded an EP within the first 5 months of me being in the band called Decomposition of Humanity. And we did that really quick and got that out really quick, and we just started touring the UK as much as we could, and they're a really driven bunch of guys, and I'm really thankful for what I've done with them so far. And there were another Peel band that started here. Yeah, they did a few gigs here at the Peel. They definitely played here a good few times. Yeah, so I was there to see them then, but they changed a lot from when I see them to how they are now. Yeah, definitely.
And in the process of that, you've managed to get quite far on the festival circuit as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's gone really well. The main push being the release of Traumatic Reconfiguration into our debut album full length on Deep Sun Records. It's really pushed us out there, and it's really got us kind of known worldwide. And yeah, we've been offered quite a few things, and some things we can only accept because of due to money and stuff. But we've done a good few festivals around Europe, which has been great exposure. Yeah, some bigger than others, but yeah, it's been great. Yeah.
And are you looking forward to playing the Obscene Extreme Festival in July?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, it's awesome. This is going to be Fleshrot's first open air fest, so it's going to be really exciting. I think we're the 10th band on the second day, so I think it's quite a good slot. And we also come back from the New York Death Fest in Holland, which was amazing. So we played with At the Gates and Obituary, which was personal for me because Obituary are one of my favourite bands.
What are your thoughts on the new Morbid Angel album?
I'm really disappointed. I think a lot of people are really disappointed. But when they released the first snippet, it seemed it had been promising. And the lineup looked promising, with Dave Finson coming back, and Tim Young was like the pinnacle of his drumming career, and everyone's really excited about how that would sound. And then when they released one of the other tracks, it was a real shock. Rob Zombie cast off. It's just really disappointing. They've always been one of my favourite bands, and Pete Sandoval's always been one of my favourite drummers, and I'm just kind of happy for him that he wasn't involved in this project. He's been, if not the best death metal drummer, or well-known death metal drummer of all time, and I'm kind of glad he wasn't on this record because they've really fallen.
And is there any groups that you think you should actually put a mention, any new groups that you should put a mention to, other than, let's say, the established bands you play with, any new ones on the circuit that were worth checking out?
There's a good few bands worth checking out, to be honest. There's a band that we know from hometown in Croydon with Fleshrot called Surrounded by Disgust. They're kind of like a technical death metal band, the Sugar style. They're worth checking out. And then there's a band called Fate Disciple that are doing really well. They kind of thrash into death metal style, and they're really good, and I think they're going to do really well in the next couple of years. Definitely.
And going back in time a little bit, what's your fondest memory of Liquefied Skeleton?
Fondest memory? Probably playing the LA2. It was a big crowd, and it's a great venue. It's not there now, of course, but it was a venue that I always wanted to play personally, because a lot of my favourite bands were seen there. So when we finally got the opportunity to play there, it was great, and there was a lot of kids there, and yeah, it was a great show.
One quote was actually saying Liquefied Skeleton was up there with Napalm Death. Liquefied Skeleton was up there with Lawnmower Death.
Oh right, what a compliment.
Let's call that a wrap.
Behind the dead, war is one what you can never have. Innocent to call on a memory pass. Kill as a time as I hate no one last. Not from insanity, now let them come. Rise in the dark for innocence lost.